Welcome to the Exposer. So I've seen quite a few people obviously showing anger towards Spac Nation not being shut down by the authorities. And I've even seen some people trying to encourage me to just basically leave it now because the authorities are doing nothing about it. And obviously I've continued to do the exposing and put out information about the organization as much as I can. As you guys can see, I'm no longer putting out a lot of content, but I'm still putting out daily content regarding Spac Nation. And the reason I'm putting out less content is because, as you guys know, 2020 Spac Nation are in hiding. Spac Nation are staying away from the limelight. They're still doing the same thing that's been going on, but they're doing it really, really low key. They're very low key about it because they don't want to be exposed anymore. 2019 was probably the worst year for them, and they're trying to stay away, and they're praying that everything dies down and that the authority do not do anything. They are still being investigated, but we do not know what's taking long. However, some of the people encouraging me to just leave it because the authorities are doing nothing do not understand one thing. Since they're exposing videos, it's really important to let you guys know what has gone on at Spac Nation, so that you guys understand the impact that the videos and everyone else that's been speaking out have had a major impact in basically Spac Nation being where they are right now. And I felt like it was important to highlight the key points of what's gone on since Spac have been exposed. Since Spac Nation have been exposed, they've lost numerous venues. And we're talking about numerous venues. So you guys can see, they're going at the atrium most times. And I can tell you guys the atrium is one of the worst venues they can possibly be at. A lot of people hate that venue because it's really hot in there. And and it's really hard to actually see the stage, especially if you're sitting in the middle seats or in the back. That's why Spac did occasional events at the atrium. But right now, they're holding service there on a regular basis because they're not accepted in most venues around London. All the 5-star hotels and all of these things that they were used to before no longer want to be involved with Spac Nation. So we've had a big impact in Spac Nation losing a lot of venues. We've also had a big impact in Spac Nation being exposed about the loans and the allegations, which to a point where we have MPs who are fighting for Spac Nation to be closed. So that's also a positive. Spac Nation have been restricted for being open on social media. Before, the arrogance, they came on live on Periscopes and would insult people and would have no respect. So we have managed to humble this man, Toby Adeboyega. The most important thing, since the exposing that people need to know, is a lot of members, we're talking about in the hundreds of members have left Spac Nation. A lot. And almost on a daily basis, I will have an ex-member message me thanking us for fighting to try and help people leave this corrupted organization. So we have also contributed in a lot of people leaving Spac Nation, which is a bonus. So we can only thank everyone that's been involved with exposing Spac Nation and talking about all the allegations that's gone on there. So Spac Nation are really being limited. They can no longer run the organization like before. Now they are limited to the members they have, which is more risky because the day one of their main members leaves with a lot of facts and evidence, they know that it could potentially be the end of Spac Nation if they decide to speak out. And since they're exposing, Spac Nation have been investigated by the police and by the Charity Commission. So again, this is another bonus that has happened since Spac Nation have been exposed. There's so many more things that have happened to Spac Nation since they've been exposed. So I feel like people need to understand this is a fight that I've been carrying out for a while. And we're talking about, it's been over a year that I've been fighting for Spac Nation to be shut down. Before anyone knew about this channel, before anything. So people need to understand that this has been a fight for a long time because myself and the members of the Exposer team, we all used to go Spac Nation. So we all know what's going on at Spac Nation. And together we decided to try and help other members leave because we know there's a lot of innocent people that are still going Spac Nation right now. A lot of innocent people that are just victims of being manipulated. And there's so many members there who are just in debt and it's really hard for them to walk out. It's really hard for them to walk out. There's a lot of members also who are good people, but who have been programmed and brainwashed for a very, very long time. So we have to have some sort of sympathy for them because they've been there for years. We're talking about decades. Some of them have started with PT. Some of them came a couple of years after Spac Nation opened. So these people are programmed. So it's kind of hard. So we have to pray and pray for God to help some of these members leave. There's obviously the ones who are still involved at Spac because they took part of the scams and things like that. So for those members, it's hard to walk away because they know they did wrong. But the best thing for them to do is to come out and admit to the wrongs and say that you were under the influence of this man who obviously promised you a lot of things, and without realizing you allowed yourself to do certain things that you would never do before. And that is the reality. So all the videos and all of the fighting that everyone's doing, it's not pointless because it's definitely had a major impact. And what it's done is left Spac Nation in a situation right now they're very, very limited. They're very, very limited. So if anything else comes out, they know that they're going to lose more venues. They're going to lose more members. So they're on the last leg, like I've mentioned before. Spac Nation are on their last leg. Like, anything right now could destroy the organization with all the investigation going on. So they have to remain low-key. You do not hear Spac Nation members speaking out no more. And the videos I've been publishing recently, they're videos done on private Periscope. So it tells you that Spac Nation, even part of their main group chats where they're hiding to do their videos, they also have members there who are exposing them. Members there that want to leave but are there for certain reasons. And they are handing out information to take down the organization because they are also victims. So people, please understand that this fight is not something that we've been doing for a few months. A lot of people are losing patience, but you can't lose patience. Some fights take years, but we have to continue to fight. And I can see a lot of people are losing interest only because they don't feel like the authorities are stepping up. But that's not a reason for us to give up. And this is what happens in our community. We're too impatient. We should carry out the fight. The same way we've been fighting from the beginning is the same way we should carry on fighting until the end. But unfortunately, as you guys can see, some of the views have dropped down. Some people no longer even want to hear about Spac anymore and things like that. But I've always mentioned it's deeper than that. If you guys understood how there's people from the age of 15, 16, 17 who are at Spac, who have been manipulated and brainwashed. Some people have been turned against their family at Spac Nation. Some people are just vulnerable people naturally. And it's just easy for others to take advantage of them. So there's a lot of troubled people that are there. Because I see some people try to say that if you're still at Spac right now, you must be silly, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like we can't talk like that for everyone. Because we all have different characters, we all have different personalities, and there's people who are suffering from different situations at Spac Nation. So we have to have a bit of remorse towards these people, and it's really important that we just continue to fight. So you guys just need to know this. Spac Nation now have been put on every major platform and exposed. BBC, ITV, Sky, Channel 4, they've even been debated at the Parliament. They've lost venues, they've lost money, they've lost members. And this is what the exposing has done. So it's done a lot. We know that and we wish for this organization to be closed, but it's something that's going to take time. So people just need to have more patience and people need to just stay fighting. Don't give up. The end is definitely near for Spac Nation. I'm telling you guys that. If Spac Nation is not closed by this year, then a lot of things could happen. Serious protests could happen because a lot of parents are really suffering. Some of them are not speaking out because of fear, because they still have their children at Spac. So they feel like Spac Nation are almost blackmailing them. Like, if you speak out against them, then you may no longer see your child. It's almost like the R. Kelly situation where some of the parents are being prevented from seeing their own children. And again, it's not because Spac are stopping them. It's because Spac have manipulated them to a point where they don't even want to be around their families. They would rather be with Spac Nation pastors. And that's through them using the word of God to deceive their members. And we also do not want to be talking about Spac Nation anymore because it's a frustrating matter. And unfortunately, it's something we have to do. We will not give up. We never started this fight to give up in the last minute. Especially when we know that Spac Nation are really limited. Everything they're doing is just restricted. They've been exposed. Every move they tried to do has been exposed. And actually, another thing that I forgot to mention is one of the things that Spac Nation one of the impact that the exposing has done is allowed Spac Nation to now allow the members to get married. And it's also allowed the members to actually go on holiday. This is something they weren't allowed to do in the past. So, again, that's something that's positive. Spac Nation before would tell you can't go on holiday because PT has never gone on holiday. But right now you have a lot of members all over the world. And even though he's giving them more freedom, we all know the only reason he's doing that is because he's being exposed. So now he's trying to make his cult seem like a legitimate church. So it's still a positive impact. And that tells you that it's too late for Spac to even try and change anything there because the damage has already been done. What they can do is ask for forgiveness and close the organization and try to support the members whose lives they have destroyed. But it's all positive at the moment, guys. So keep fighting, stay awake, do not give up. This is a fight. Continue to watch, continue to talk, comment about it. Do not let Spac Nation die out because this is the only thing that could potentially save them. If the authority sees that in the next few months, no one's talking about Spac Nation anymore, they might decide to take their foot off the gas. So let's continue to fight.